A bunch of you commented in the first season that our set has something, specifically Kaka. So I just want to tap into Art's feel. Do you feel anything around this prop with your sense?
Hi, my name is Utt.
My name is Raihan.
My name is Wayne.
And my name is Kyle.
And this is Tales from Incredible Tales, a show where we look back at the popular MediaCorp horror series.
For this episode, we're joined once again by Utt, the host of Incredible Tales throughout its 13 years. Hi, Utt.
Hi, guys.
In every episode of Tales from Incredible Tales, we explore a different theme and tie it back to a classic Incredible Tales episode.
For this episode, we're looking at objects that might be tied to the supernatural. This episode's theme was inspired by Finders Keepers from Season 3. A man is presented with an opportunity to take something that doesn't belong to him. But is it Finders Keepers or Losers Weepers?
Let's take a look.
And with spells and sacrificial blood of a pure white rooster, the Toyol can be brought to life.
I love the quietness.
I know.
Crickets.
Oh, Raihan. Is this like very similar to how they make the kumantong?
I wouldn't know the exact details, but I would say it's going towards that way. Yeah.
It's like necromancy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is my first time actually watching Toyol coming out of, the white shroud.
Yeah.
Because usually in Malay folklore, we think that Toyol is green in color. Small.
Right.
It looks like the Harry Potter character.
Oh, Dobby.
Yeah.
How does it look like Dobby?
A very evil version.
It's
I
not like you
guess.
can give it socks and then you will be free.
No, this one needs more than socks.
To be fair, has anyone actually tried?
Not here? Like four of us?
You mean
No, to give socks to like a Toyol and see whether it's
Oh, okay.
I thought like
no. The difference is like, have you tried summoning a Toyol?
just like casually like, oh yeah,
Guys-
guys and Kyle were doing it.
We've been through one season. I know better than that now.
In relation to the episode itself, have you actually accidentally found anything that that it was cursed or it was supernatural?
It was really weird. I think I was like 12 or 11, like a bunch of kids, right, being stupid. And then we have like chalets, so you can stay in like chalets in Singapore. So just like you live like a bunch of teenagers. A whole bunch of us like decided, hey, let's go and dig sand. And then it was like super low tide. So like the coastal barriers in East Coast Park. And then somehow the tide was so low, it's beyond that. So the sea was like very some weird thing that's happening. And then we started digging, and one of my classmates actually found a sword. Last season we talked about Chris, right? It kind of looks like it, but it was longer, so kind of like a saber, and it was very thick. And guess what? It was gold in color.
Wow. Was it completely intact?
It was intact. Wow. And then we were like, we found a treasure. We found a treasure. That was like, we're trying to pull it. Just somehow we couldn't remove it. And then a part of me felt that it was cursed. I don't know. I just feel that this one not clean. And I had no like supernatural thing going on then. I wasn't superstitious or anything. I was like, it's not weird. Like, like how your grandparents tell you, don't pick up strange things.
Yeah.
But you're a kid, right? And then one of my friends actually pulled it very, very high. It was like a jog. So he was quite big size for a 12-year-old. So he tried to pull it and then he slashed his hand. It got really bloody. There was one, I remember one of my Malay classmates who was very wise. He was like, guys, don't go around picking things from the sea out of random. Let's just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if it was cursed or anything, but I didn't have good vibes from it. Yeah, but then I didn't hear anything like, haunting happening to my friends.
Okay.
Then, but we were staying at the very famously haunted East Coast chalet, which is no longer around. Yeah.
I mean, cursed or not, the fact that the ocean revealed it to you, it's
weird, right?
Yeah.
It's really strange.
Could have auctioned it
And
off
yeah.
to Sotheby's.
What if it was like a historical thing? I don't know. But 8 of us tried to pull it. It just couldn't come out. Yeah.
I have more like a perspective on it and like just sort of stories around it. I mean, I can tell you like the most recent one. I went to a friend's dinner party and they just moved in, and then she was showing like, her artwork and everything that was around the house and everything. And then at one point in time, like near the living room and where the television was, she's like, "Oh, come meet Uncle." So apparently Uncle is this carved sort of wooden tribesman looking statue that she said she got from Indonesia. So everyone was walking. I think my friend's daughter and her friend's daughter, and they walk in. And then automatically I didn't know, I didn't know that it was so apparent that I stopped. So I just stopped, and like she goes, "Oh, but this is a replica. It's not the real thing." She goes, "You don't have to be scared." But I automatically stopped, and I forgot that my friend knows that I have sort of like a third eye, and I sense things, and I kind of just sense energies.
Yeah.
So like I think when she looked back, she stopped, and everyone stopped. And then her husband, like my friend, he goes, he just starts laughing and he plays it off and everything. And I play it off too because, there's no sense in making a situation out of it. But then I realized afterwards, because I had to kind of just set my thoughts as to why I did that. And I'm like, I knew right away that the energies were not, not aligned and sort of right. So I did sense something from Uncle.
Oh.
Yeah, I sensed something from Uncle, and I thought that was interesting. Other stories I have, I had a friend back in my teens. Apparently, I think he went to Africa, and then he brought, he bought some stuff, souvenirs and everything. I don't know what he brought back. I was hearing this from other people. He wasn't happy that my friend brought things back because he is a believer in objects, and in respecting objects of different ethnicities and cultures, and you have to be really careful. And we were probably like 16, 17, so you don't think anything, So apparently he was going through a lot of situations at the time. For example, he had like a lot of accidents. People had the manager felt that it had to do with bringing certain objects, and he wanted him to bring the objects back. But it's not as easy as going from here to down to the East Coast.
Exactly.
You have to fly back to Africa. But I don't know. It just made me think of that time. There are specific situations, stories to it, which I don't remember right now, but he has passed away, by the way. He passed away probably a year after those bad situations.
Oh my God.
But I don't think it's attributed to that one object or objects. I just think, I do feel when something happens, a lot of things can contribute to things. So if you're already in a dark place or in a not so good place, you can be attracting more and more along the way. So he was in a car accident to leave this life going through that. So
Then he ended with that thing that he brought back. So it's like negative energy compounding on negative energy. And then he just imploded.
Like what Kyle shared with his story, I feel objects can be taken, but you need to have the precautions of giving kind of sort of like respect to the object and asking for the object and just creating that energy before just taking it. and being very conscious when you're in places traveling
Yeah.
to purchase certain things and be conscious to know that there are stories behind things too.
Yeah.
That's right.
I found it quite interesting as well that you said that Uncle was a replica. So that seems to imply that it isn't the object itself, but the image that they've placed on the object that might be carrying the energy with it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, to me, I don't know. To me, I can't tell whether a carved statue is authentic or not. But to me, I just felt the energy rather than like whether it was authentic or not.
Yeah.
You were authentically creeped out, and that's enough.
Authentically creeped out. I was like, and it's very interesting because like the whole house is very minimal. It's like very modern, and then you have like a carved statue, which kind of is misplaced in the whole entire like setup.
A bunch of you commented in the first season that our set has something, specifically Kakak. So I just want to tap into Art's feel. Do you feel anything around this prop with your sense?
No.
There you have it, guys.
That was a very long pause.
No, he was building up the thing. He was building up the
Holy
thing.
crap, the amount of tension I felt right here. Yeah, I was like,
You hold your breath, right? You hold your breath, right?
I don't know whether like you added a little bit more because, oh man. Yeah.
Okay. So to be frank, I think a lot of the listeners, they was seeing like the cloth like as of right now, it's also like kind of flowing. There's aircon lah, so it's not really the hantu most of the time. But we also taken extra precautions since the first season for this particular prop lah. So they did say that for props that look like human, like Uncle, it's best to paste a red packet or something red squarish on it, so as to prevent things from entering it. Especially when you lay it dormant for a long time. It's like houses. If it's not blessed, it's not, there's no yang energy, then people will go inside lah.
In cases of exorcism, where they have taken out the spirit out of the person's body, they will put it in a small black bottle.
Oh.
The spirit is being enclosed in a bottle, tight, very tightly, and they will tie a yellow cloth on top of the bottle. And then that bottle is thrown off into the sea so that the spirit can just remain in the sea. But there are cases where the bottle drifts ashore. And people picks it up, thinks that, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And there goes the spirit out of the body, and then the spirit will be attached to the person that found the bottle. So which is why, your Malay friend says, do not pick anything up.
Yeah, very wise.
When you find anything at the at the beach, which is why we have this folklore. The other thing is, anything that is yellow in color, a cloth or whatsoever, even if it's a squarish thing, yellow in color, found at the beach or at the cemetery or anywhere, please don't pick it up. Because again,
notes on this.
Because they may actually contain certain spirits that they have already enclosed and not let anybody touch. Or some people can be, mischievous, where they just like, I'm just going to put it here. Anybody who picks it up might get it. Get it?
Oh.
That's just bad.
That's just bad, yeah. So my uncle has a story where he went to visit my grandma's cemetery, and then he found a cloth on top of my on my grandma's cemetery.
Oh, wow.
And then the cloth doesn't belong there. So he knows. So he's wondering, why is it here? Like, why is the cloth there?
Yeah.
So he picks it up, untie it, and then he saw some writing on the cloth. So he threw it away. Nothing happened to him, but these kind of things usually is practiced by somebody who is trying to tap on an energy to create energy. So meaning to say maybe somebody is there at a cemetery wanting to do something for another person, so he or she just place it on top of a cemetery. Maybe that's one of the rules. Go to a cemetery, place it on any of the cemetery, and then things might happen to that person. It could be a bad intention.
Yeah.
So hence that's one. The second part about objects, I agree with you. When things are left dormant for a long time, things can come in. So I'm not sure about. I'm not sure whether you've heard of this, but my mom said that long time ago in schools, they used to have that skeleton. Science lab skeleton. And they said that it's not plastic. It's real bones.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
Right. I mean, back in the days. So my mom said that she was in a science lab before, and then the skeleton at the back just started to move. And she was alone. So she turned around, and then the skeleton was supposed to be facing this way, and then now it's facing this way.
Oh, come on.
And then she was like, okay, I think there's something.
Can we bring your mom?
Hi, mom.
Nice. That's creepy though.
It
Like
is.
she was alone.
She was alone.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's an after class kind
I
of
don't know.
thing.
I feel like schools are like almost as bad as hospitals.
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about it, right? Like months, right? There's a few months that is completely empty.
Oh, yes.
And it's mostly empty at night. Yeah. So it's like
And there's a lot of history too
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
schools.
Okay, so the question is, what would you do if you do happen to have anything that is cursed with you? If you happen to pick up an item that you know is cursed, would
Buang
you?
lah.
Buang
Throw
lah.
lah.
Yours
Okay.
is just buang lah.
I just throw it away, bro.
I'll be honest, I was really looking forward to this question just because I would like to know as well. Because I can't imagine if you just throw it, isn't that like disrespectful?
I would probably somehow get rid of it.
Yeah.
Or not have it. But then when Kyle said, I'm like the way you said it, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, you just pass the curse to someone else. It's kind of like, you take it. but I mean, literally, it's like, because I wasn't thinking that way until like you said it. I'm like, oh, that's like passing something that's a bad omen or a curse
Yeah.
to someone who might not know,
Yeah.
which is good to know because I think I'll be conscientious next time to know where I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah.
I think the best places, like for me personally, if I was in Thailand, is to maybe talk to like a prajan, a monk, where I can discard an object or where the object should go,
Yeah.
rather than passing that somewhere accidentally,
Yeah.
because you don't want to pass that accidentally to someone who doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think what I do nowadays. I think for me, what I do nowadays is to sort of cleanse the object by somewhat giving my own respect to it. I'm just more conscious of like objects around me, and anything that I feel uncomfortable, I just don't have those objects around me.
Yeah.
So there is another saying as well that you need to tie something heavy to it and let it sink.
Right.
So that it sinks all the way in the deepest end of the sea. Nobody will ever be able to pick it
Yeah.
up. So yeah, it's to throw, but throw it in a way where nobody can ever pick it up.
The closest I've come to ever encountering a cursed object wasn't an object. It was my dad. When we were much younger, my dad found a bird, and it was this just a bird at a void deck, and its wing was injured, and he decided to nurse it back to health. So he brought the bird into our home, got a nice cage for him, put him inside, and the thing, every time my dad tells the story, the thing I remember him saying was, "Boy, that bird could sing." And it was beautiful. Every morning we wake up and there's beautiful bird song in the house. But terrible stuff started happening to our family. Just like, my dad got into like a lot of trouble at work. There was money issues. And it was a very bad point. But the disposal of this bird is just, it's the ribbon on the story. Because my dad and my mom were on holiday. And my dad calls my brother who was, I think he was alone at home, or maybe he was with a friend. And my dad said, just let the bird go. Just open the cage, let the bird fly out. And this is the middle of the afternoon. So my brother was like, you sure? And my dad was like, yeah. Just, I have all this stuff has been happening, and I have a very bad feeling that it started when we picked up the bird. So my brother goes to our balcony. It's a beautiful, clear day. He opens the cage, the bird flies out, and from out of nowhere, 4 crows just swoop in and tear the bird apart.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my brother's just shocked at that point, and his friend just goes, "It's not your fault." Which is the only thing he could really say to him. After that, things went back to normal.
Basically, I just feel there's a time for like in my own, opinion on things, like with life in general, it's like everything's sort of like destined.
Okay.
So I feel in the situation where it looks extremely barbaric, but it was meant to be. Yeah, it was meant to be. Yeah. And the fight of that bird is over.
Yeah.
Because I guess like in some sort of ways being caged, even though it was out of good intentions, but it was just not its timing anymore. Yeah.
That's a really interesting way of looking at that story because
It's a karmic cycle.
Yeah.
It's a karmic cycle. But maybe my theory has always been the same for these stories, that the bird is something dark.
Yeah.
People always blame that the crows being evil. Maybe the crows were just trying to help.
Yeah.
To take it away.
Yeah, because that's what we thought as well. But that's a really interesting way to look at it, where the negative energy wasn't because of the bird. It just followed the bird because it was its time.
What color was the bird?
I cannot remember. I think it was brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because we had a myth saying that Kapi can also come in as a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you had a Kapi at home.
I'm just I'm amazed like through all these episodes, and there's just these stories amongst the four of us.
Yeah.
Like, just some, especially from you two. I mean, it's like if it's Kyle and myself, you're like, okay, they're just gonna pick something out of their like pockets, and they're gonna roll with it. But when you two come up with something, not come up with something, when you two share something of your own experience, it's like, oh my gosh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Mic drop right there.
Thank you.
You dropped it.
I'm just picturing like inside your head, you've got like this folder of which story should I tell.
Sometimes
now?
we forget how much.
Yeah.
Like I have new things happening to me also. We will share.
No, we've got plenty of time.
We've got
to share.
plenty of episodes.
Okay, so next question. So the Toyo plays a huge part in this episode. So what do you know about all these creatures?
I actually am very interested in what are things. Do you know what's a Toyo?
No.
It's like
Maybe you want to explain?
Yeah.
Yeah, Toyo. Okay, so a Toyo in Malay folklore is a spirit that is derived from a baby. So hence it's really small. Hence what it's supposed to be in green color. That's what I know. And it's bound to an owner.
Yes.
Someone who calls upon it. So the owner, we will usually tell the Toyo to steal money from people's houses.
Just like a guman.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Is it the same?
It's similar.
Okay.
Similar. Yeah.
Yes. So anything that, the owner says, maybe go to the house, kill this person, steal money, etc. So back in the days, in the kampong times, I've heard people losing money all of a sudden. Like, where's my money? Where's my money? Is it because there's Toyo going around the kampong? Yeah.
So is it unborn spirits of children?
It could be just children dying of a young age, and then they, use the body.
So similar. Yeah.
Similar.
It's quite similar.
So-
Yeah.
So the kumantong is basically, it translates to golden child, golden baby, golden child, but it's the unborn fetus.
Yeah.
And it's used to. Sometimes people have it in their house. It's quite common to have it in Thai houses. It's not necessarily evil unless you don't feed it. I understand that the Toyo feeds on blood, right?
Yeah.
Of the owner or like
No.
Animals.
I'm smiling because it's like the Toyo is the evil version of the kumantong.
So there's no folklore where the Toyo is like good lah.
No.
It's evil lah.
It's evil.
Whereas the kumantong that not say evil is neutral.
Neutral. It's the cute version.
Yeah, it's a cute version.
Yeah.
So I have stories of friends who have kumantongs at home. It's quite common actually in Singapore, especially when you are a guy who like Thai culture. Confirm will have. So they will have usually one or two. Usually it's best to only have one because there will be jealousy. They're like cute children. They will fight. And then he will put like toys, right? There will be a small altar, put toys, then with Yacob, then with some sweet, right? And they will play the toys at night. Then you will have sound. Yeah.
Because that's what I heard about the Toyo as well. Like if you give it toys, they'll play with it as well. Yeah.
So the Malay folklore also says that it's best that you have pets, like fishes or anything that can entertain toyos at night. So that, because toyos are kids, right? Children. So when they come into the house and they are supposed to steal something, but they see animals, they see things that they can play with, they get distracted.
So they won't do their job lah.
Yeah, they won't do their job.
How I'm seeing it, if we don't put labels on them, like toyos or gumantong, it's actually the same spirits.
Yeah.
It's just like the approach created the spirits to be a certain way.
Yeah.
So I think within culture, the toyos have an evil presence about them because of how how the spirits are approached.
Yes.
And then like for the gumantong, they're approached in a different way, but they can be neutral or turned different ways. So that's really interesting.
Yeah. I have a story. I think it happened to my neighbor. I'm not sure whether it's real, but I've heard it somewhere. I think as I recall that there was a toyo that entered her house, but she has a fish tank, so there are fishes. She was going to the kitchen at night when she saw a small little figure right beside the fish tank.
Wow.
Watching the fish.
Wow.
So it could be that toyo lah.
Your neighbor.
Yeah, but same block.
Oh, same block,
Not
but not the same floor lah.
No lah.
Okay, then good lah. You're safe.
Yeah. It was back then, so I think I'm not sure whether this is
Go
a
buy
true story.
fish.
but-
Go buy goldfish.
Is she still a neighbor, by the way?
No.
Oh, then okay lah.
I was gonna say we should,
Recorded episode there.
I was like, hello.
hey.
We should have a call section. Are you this person? Then he's like, is that telling me? Sorry.
Record an episode on that, all the equipment starts going missing.
Yeah, like there's this thing that I've heard from spiritual master. They say that actually, right, people who could be parents, tends to have a child spirit following them.
Oh.
Especially when you're about to conceive.
Oh.
Because if you believe in the whole karmic cycle, that's
Right.
part of your karmic cycle. So perhaps, right, in your previous life, because there's this joke lah, like, right, when your parents give birth to you, the parents say, hey, I owe you since my last life. Because you're such a pain in the ass, I need to raise you up and stuff. So is we are all in debt to each other in some form of sense in the karmic cycle, right? So the child spirit will be waiting for them to be reincarnated into your child lah. So usually it's a form of spirit that is following you. And it will protect you in that sense. Because you're tied in that sense that this person will be my parent someday. So I'm just waiting for the right time.
Hello.
that came out of nowhere. I'm going to clip that.
Okay, look, already this episode we had Art just staring intently over there. I don't need
This
this.
is a fun episode. But that's what I said, like, wow.
Because if you think about it, for toyos, the only time that they become mischievous is when they're given instructions.
Yes.
So if the
It's like how you raise a child.
exactly
Yeah.
And where you raise a child, like
Yeah.
in what sort of environment,
Yeah.
what sort of situation. So like the way I understand it, it's the same spirit.
Yeah.
It's just like a different environment, different way that it's brought up.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Agree.
yeah.
So this question is for everyone. In this episode, Kasim picks up money earned from black magic. If someone was trying to trick you into picking up a cursed item, what would it be?
I'm Singaporean lah, come on. Like I'm very Singaporean. In the last season, I did mention that I almost picked up like $10 or something at Bedok Reservoir during the 7th month. So I would say money. Maybe you put $1,000, I might pick it up.
Actually, same there. Same answer. I will pick up money.
Money hard to earn, bro.
See, I wish my answer was more practical was as practical as what both of you are saying. There's a secondhand comic shop near my flat.
Okay.
I like going there and picking up secondhand comics. It'll be very easy for somebody just to leave a cursed Spider-Man comic down there. And I'm like, ooh. And not only will I pick it up, I pay for the curse. So at least you guys would get money. I'd end up losing money and gain a curse item as well. You're laughing way too hard at that, man. Way too hard.
It wouldn't work on me. Any type of objects, whether it's like money or comic books, which I collect as well. I think my sense would be very attuned to what's not okay.
That is true.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine you were like, oh, no.
I mean, the fact that you subconsciously just stopped halfway through walking through the flat. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I think art, right? if he opened a second-hand shop, right, that's sell second-hand,
Yeah.
all the items very clean one.
Yeah.
Or I would have my own section.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I would know that this section and this section and this section.
I like that. And then I can come in and go, I want the good ones. What about the bad ones?
See, if I'd ever open that shop, you better be one of those nice customers. Don't ever be rude to them. If not, you'll go, hey, I've got something just for you. The ultimate lesson in customer service. So, let's wrap up this episode with, of course, a morbid fact of the day. Kyle?
So in 1904, right, there's a supposed cursed doll named Robert that was given to this 4-year-old boy named Gene. Like, I don't know why. So every time his room was messed up, right, Gene would blame the doll. So after he grew up and then he got married, Gene moved Robert to the attic of his house. And then when people visited his house, right, they can hear footsteps from the attic.
Why did that boy still keep?
Memories
That was my thought as well. It's like, why would you know your doll is cursed? Why? I mean, maybe it could have been cursed for other people, not for him.
There's so many questions, right?
Yeah.
Like, why the doll named Robert?
Yeah, that was my other question as well.
But it was the 1904.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Uncle's a much more evocative name. Robert sounds like an accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dolls, definitely they can harbor spirits inside.
Do you agree?
So,
Well, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like, cacao, or, when you have things and objects laying dormant, it's like it's an attraction for energies because they need to be housed. Sometimes they are just floating around. So it's very sensitive. So, similar to the cursed doll, basically, we, like you were saying, interesting, Robert, why the name Robert? We don't even know if there's like history behind that name as well.
Actually, you're right, yeah.
So there's so many layers to all of this. And the layers to like what you were saying, Wayne, it's like the boy until he grew into adulthood might not have seen this doll as being cursed. Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know, man. I think attics in America are just like places for dark things.
Yeah.
I mean, you lived in America extensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen an attic?
I was bringing myself back to my house when I grew up. It's like we didn't have an attic, but then it's like you can crawl into the ceiling space.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it wasn't, but you have ceiling spaces.
So it's like a crawl space, right?
Yeah.
It's dirty. It has like the heating thing. Like it's like a foam, right?
Or like
right?
asbestos.
I don't know, like asbestos is like
They stopped using that for like ages.
yeah,
but
so that is disgusting, and then you just put unwanted stuff up there, and it's all darkness. Wow, the energy there is confirmed.
I mean, it goes back to what you guys were saying, like, because an attic is where you store stuff. So, people hardly walk
I think it's
in.
attics and basements.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like everything that everyone's saying right now. I think it becomes like a very dark place because it's where things are stored.
Yes.
And when you store things, there's like history and the energies in the stuff you store.
Yeah.
And it's just a place that harbors energies. Yeah.
Wow.
And like it how in different types of traditions, cultures, like you have the cleansing, like New Year's, Chinese New Year's, you had that one day where you just clean the house. I think it exists in all cultures, and I think attics and basements aren't clean. They're never clean.
Agree. You were like, hey, let's go celebrate Chinese New Year on the attic. Nobody do that.
Like everything's, you clear out everything except for maybe the basement. And
We
the
should create a new holiday, like Spirit Spring Cleaning Day. You just spring clean all the dark places in your house. Internationalize it.
Well, there's like different methods of cleaning. Like, for example, like how you light up sage, and then you clean. That's more of like a cleaning on a spiritual level, rather than like, physical level.
All right, thank you again, Art, for joining us. And thank you all for tuning in to Tales from Incredible Tales. New episodes will be up every week on MeWatch, meLISTEN, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
My name is Utt.
My name is Wade.
My name is Kyle.
My name is Raihan, and we will see you next time.